Yes, I know it's been a couple of months since the Vivo X5Max was released. 7 months to be exact. But hey, better late than never. Have you ever heard of Vivo? I bet you have, and I'm pretty sure you think it's the Brazilian telecom company. Well, it's not. It's a Chinese OEM that has been making a lot of waves back in mainland China. And now, I finally have one. It would seem like the Chinese have a big obsession in being thin, from the Xiaomi LV down to the Oppo R5. Both of the phones were the slimmest, quote-unquote were. Now the X5Max has stolen the crown in being the most svelte smartphone ever, coming in at just 4.77mm at its thinnest. Now enough blabbering, I am the Mohawk guy, and this is the Vivo X5Max. Looking at the phone, I almost feel bad for eating so much rice today. This has got to be, well, it is the slimmest smartphone I have ever laid my eyes on. 5.1mm at the thickest, 4.7mm at its thinnest. And I'm just sitting here contemplating on the next bowl of rice I'm about to have. The design of the device is quite nice. Coming from a Chinese manufacturer, it manages to pull off an original looking device, which I can't really say to some other Chinese OEMs. I'm looking at you, Meizu. The chamfered metal edges gives the phone a very premium look and feel. The very tactile and responsive volume rockers are also a sweet tiny side bonus. Vanity aside, the Vivo X5Max is a respectable warrior in the Android battlefield. It has a 1080p Super AMOLED 5.5-inch display that's super bright, a 64-bit Snapdragon 615 octa-core CPU, both clusters are based on the A53 architecture, with one cluster running at 1.5 GHz and the other at 1 GHz. 2GB of RAM for the multitasking department, 16GB of internal storage, expandable up to 64GB by the second SIM tray. The SIMs are the standard micro SIM. On the software side of things, running the show behind the scenes is a generation-old version of Android 4.4.4. Not that old of course, but for Android purists, it's rather feet-cringing. Of course, it is now upgradable to Android 5.0 Lollipop, courtesy of Vivo. What makes the phone pop with amazing color and fun is Vivo's UI called Fun Touch OS, and I'm serious about it being super colorful and eye-popping. The color palette Vivo decided to go with is iOS 8 on steroids, with bold and striking colors. The fun doesn't stop there. Fun Touch OS does bring several tweaks and tricks to KitKat, but none of them really stand out, as other Chinese OEMs have done this. To name a few is the love it or hate it endless home screen, a fully fledged and fully stocked theme market, and the iOS-like controls from the bottom of the screen. But guys, this is Android. You could always download a third-party launcher like Nova or Go, and blam! Your experience is changed. But then again, if you're from iOS transitioning to Android, Vivo's offering can far more ease your way around the complex universe of Android. Another thing you can count on with these Chinese OEMs, well, not all of them, is the quality of the camera that they deliver. The Vivo X5Max does not disappoint. Powering the camera is Sony's IMX214 13MP sensor with a pixel size of 1.2 microns. Without being extremely technical, I can say, judging from the photos I've taken, the camera is on par even with the flagships of 2015. Due to a weird glitch in the phone's system, I will be uploading the camera samples in another separate video after this. The camera's UI looks very simplistic, with a big white shutter on the right side of the screen and a small button on the top right acts as a toggle for the modes such as HDR, Face Beauty, and a weird watermark mode, which does what it says. It leaves a watermark on every shot you take. Functionality? None. Fun? Maybe. It's up to you, I guess. To each his own. The camera has a hidden Easter egg. I'll get to that in a bit. For the video department, the X5Max can shoot 1080p videos at 30 FPS and, interestingly, also at 60 FPS, a rarity for mid-range rangers. It can also shoot 120 frames per second slow-mo videos at 720p. Video recordings for 1080p, 30 FPS, and 60 FPS are recorded in stereo at 192 kHz and coded in MP4, at an average size of 27 Mbps. Again, I will do a video sample on a separate video. Remember that Easter egg I said about the camera? Drag the shutter button upwards if you're holding it in portrait, or slide towards the left if you're in landscape, and you'll reveal a slew of manual controls, from white balance, focusing and metering, exposure values, and a full 32-second shutter speed control. A level of control that not even the Galaxy S6 has, enabling you to capture great light painting shoots. The UI in full manual mode looks a lot like the slider controls found in the Nokia PureView camera. Inside the phone is the aforementioned Snapdragon 615 SoC, the same engine that runs in Samsung's Galaxy A7 and the newly announced and released Galaxy A8. Vivo may have dropped the ball here a little bit because there are a bit of stuttering in animations. They're not deal-breaking bad, but you do notice the slowdown and stuttering now and then. The benchmark scores support my complaint on the slowdown, as it posted average scores on AnTuTu and Quadrant. This also translates to less than stellar gaming performance. It can handle Asphalt 8, but be warned, frame rate drops are imminent. Vivo may have clocked the dial back in CPU performance, but that seemed to help out in boosting battery life. Having only a small 2000 mAh battery, the X5Max posted amazing battery life. Oddly though, I couldn't really see a breakdown of the battery usage, so I was just going with my gut. So therefore, I think the screen on time was about 3 hours, which is pretty amazing for a 2000 mAh battery. Standby time is also amazing, posting a week of standby time with Wi-Fi and 4G on. The Vivo X5Max is a great device for the young crowd, with a beautiful 1080p AMOLED screen and a great 13 megapixel Sony camera. A phone for heavy-duty Android pros, this is not. US bands are also supported, which makes it a great unlock device for the US market. The only downside here for the US market is that it's only sold online. For $399, this is a great buy if you can take the time-to-time CPU throttling issue. And that was it, guys. Thank you very much for watching another episode of Phone Reviews. by the Mohawk guy. Please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed this. Drop some comments below on what you think about the phone if you have ever had one, and what phone you want me to review on the next video. Have a great day, guys. Bye bye. Peace out.